Democrats are in a very, very bad place, one of whom happens to be that Gavin Newsom out in California. You see, he just can't get anything right. He's throwing fit after fit after fit after fit. I would just say, you know what, Gavin? Focus less on your TDS problem and focus a whole lot more on actually trying to run your country, state, dare I say, efficiently. Like, oh, that was a scary slip, because you see, he wants to run for president. He wants to run the country. And you know how bad we'd all be off? I mean, you'd want to talk about a bad position to be in. You know, I'm good friends with his ex-wife, Kimberly. I actually said this to her recently. I'm like, Kimberly, you know what? If he were to ever get in, it would be really, really, really bad for a lot of people. A lot of people, because one, taxes, okay? You had me at taxes, right? Highest tax rate in the country. California is a total disaster. Two, total inefficiency. I mean, the guy can't make his way out of a paper bag. Look what happened with all the fires. He doesn't do any clearing of the woods. No, he just blames climate change, right? Always blames somebody else. He's the guy who wants to use your hard-earned taxpayer dollars to pay for healthcare for every illegal in his state. It's nuts. And now, because he realizes that, you know, people are just not there in sync with him, he's decided to go full TDS, and he's once again harping on this thing that he just wants. Donald Trump came out the other day and said, look, I'm not allowed to run for governor. I'm not allowed to run for president. I'm not allowed to run for president again. And so Gavin Newsom, governor of California, apparently heard something different. Apparently keeps going back to something that Steve Bannon told The Economist a while back. And, you know, Steve might have been trying to stir the pot. He thinks there's a way that this could happen. I don't think so. I think the president knows that it can't happen anyway. That's not going to stop Gavin from going down his TDS tunnel. Watch, ladies and gentlemen.
Fourth or fifth term. I'm deeply concerned about it. And guys like Bannon, they're not screwing around. They're not screwing around.
So you think Bannon's not just messing with J.D. Vance's head?
I think
because part of it, I think, is
no,
you know,
but he believes it. He believes it.
Yeah.
It's not just J.D. Vance, which is also part of it. But no, these guys have sort of a maniacal sense of purpose and desire for power. This is a revolution. Ian Brenner said it in his blog the other day. Ian's not prone to hyperbole. It's a revolution that's going on in this country. And I think you have to...
Okay. Ian is a little bit, I'm sorry. But it's a revolution, like, good. We needed a revolution. For goodness sakes, look at what your people were doing. We had the pregnant man emoji. I think that still is on Apple. We had naturally born boys running against naturally born girls, winning and collecting medals, right? in the swimming pool lanes. All because of you. Oh, and by the way, the number one issue, facing the world, facing Americans. It was supposed to be climate change. Apparently you never bothered to check the Gallup polls. I just checked the last one. Guess what? Gallup poll shows only 2% of American voters actually think that that is the number one issue facing America today. So take that, Kamala. Take that, Gavin Newsom, with your very horrible vocal fry. You know me and voices. Here we go. Rest of the soundbite.
Party needs to focus first and foremost on recognizing that. And then we'll reconcile being more culturally normal, more reform-oriented, talk about service and patriotism. And we'll continue to build on the legacy, I would argue, of our former president, who I think was one of the most successful presidents in the last century, and that is Joe Biden. And I will defend that till my grave. In terms of the CHIPS and Science Act, the infrastructure bill, the work he did on the IRA, the fact that he had a worker-centered industrial policy, and the fact that those are the right policies for this country.
They're all getting undone, right? I mean, everything.
A lot of them, but not, well, many aspects are being celebrated by the Trump administration as his.
So he actually thinks that Biden was the best president ever, and he's going to celebrate that presidency, the presidency that took us to double-digit inflation? At least on producer prices, what were 9.6% increase in inflation? For consumer prices, I'm looking at gas prices now, and the national average, according to GasBuddy.com, is less than $3. That's the national average. I know it's more if you live in California. Believe me, Gavin made it surely more with all his taxes. Anyway, you know, he's so preoccupied with this idea that Donald Trump is going to run again. This is what he keeps selling over and over and over again. Watch. He's got no sense of humor.
You think for a second you want... I have 24 Trump 2028 hats. His folks keep sending me.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
Just a little. Just a little, okay? So he's so worried about 2028. That's a big part of it. The other problem with this guy, let's face it, is that he has no accountability whatsoever. Like, nothing is ever his fault. And this came out in this little ABC News interview that was supposed to be a puff piece.
Because the retribution is real.
What are you talking about?
Well, you've got the, you need federal assistance. I mean, the fires. I mean, you're going to be rebuilding from
I was sitting
fires.
there on the tarmac. I was sitting there having 30-minute conversations, personal phone calls. I went to visit the White House. Nothing. Not a peep. Not a dollar. Zero.
So he's already done
nothing.
It. So you're saying there's nothing more.
He took billions and billions of dollars, $4 billion in the high-speed rail. He's gone after us like no other state. And that's when our state of mind was collaborative. Spare me, come on.
Well, people are afraid of his retribution.
Exactly, but I'm afraid we're going to lose our country. And where the hell is everybody? Why aren't we standing up to principle? Why aren't we standing up? The founding fathers didn't live and die to see us as cowards. The richest, the most powerful people in this country selling their soul and selling out this country. I mean, that's how I feel. So yeah, forgive me. I'm sorry if people's feelings are hurt about this. I'm disgusted what's happened in this country. I'm disgusted by the supine Congress. I'm disgusted by how the private sector is conducting themselves. I'm disgusted by universities selling their soul and law firms. I'm disgusted that people are not more outraged. Forgive me.
I mean,
I'm not going to forgive you, okay? I'm not going to forgive you because you know what? I lived through the 4 years of the Biden administration. I lived through and reported from the front lines with all of you guys, maybe watching it, me at one of my other networks, one of my networks that I worked at Fox Business, as we dealt with lie after lie after lie that came out of that administration. And then it's now been reported that, well, not only was everything a lie, whether you're talking about the dirty dossier, Russia, whether you are talking about the virus being created it just via a wet market. Oh no, turns out it was from that lab that we weren't allowed to talk about. Whether it was the Hunter Biden laptop. Oh, that was a beauty, right? 51 ex-spooks coming out and saying, hey, this is nothing but misinformation. I mean, come on. Like, you guys did this to yourselves. The American people can only be lied to so many times. Oh, and then the climate change. I mean, even Bill Gates came out the other day and said, yeah, not the top priority anymore because, things like hunger matter more. And there was that Gallup poll showing only 2% consider that to be the top issue facing the world today. I mean, for goodness sakes, you just tried to spoon feed us a whole bunch of lies. But fortunately, there's things like this, right? The Trish Regan show. You get to get independent information with independent content from independent creators that maybe have a different spin on it, a different point of view. And so people have woken up to all of it. And rightly so. So Gavin, I'm sorry, you can keep singing that song and dance. And I know you get your friends like over at The View, also at ABC News. They're singing it all day long for you as well. I just heard Whoopi Goldberg. I won't torture you guys with playing it again, but we saw this on the show here together when I played you the soundbite of her saying, well, he's putting the National Guard into California and into Illinois and into all these places so that he can steal the next election. And I'm like, I'm sorry, we've been there, done that, right? We had to sit through Jimmy Carter telling us that he didn't believe that this was the legitimate president, the Donald Trump presidency, because it had been bought and paid for by the Russians. I mean, for goodness sakes, enough is enough. I've had it, you've had it, we've all had it.